What's up, everybody? Let's talk Jets radio. Don't want to be that guy and rain on the Jets parade. Want to keep this somewhat positive. Anything negative, like I said during the stream, I'll keep it for the end of the video. Happy that the Jets got this win. Team deserves it. They've been battling a lot of close games the last 5 weeks, 5 game losing streak. You don't want to see that continue. Didn't want to end the season losing 10 in a row. So I'm glad for everybody in that locker room. The Jets, big time players, they all stepped up. They played well. Quinnen Williams, Bryce Huff. C.J. Mosley, Sauce Gardner had a bunch of deflections. DJ Reed had great coverage all day. And even on the offensive side of the ball, we saw Ruckert get involved. Conklin had some big catches. Garrett Wilson, they featured him over 100 yards. Breece Hall had like 8 catches for, I think, like 80 yards out of the backfield. And of course, the big guy, Zach Wilson, credit to him, all the talk during the week about whether or not he wanted to play or not play, getting benched 2 weeks ago. Turns out maybe he did give the Jets the best chance to win. Now, do I think the difference between him and, Boyle and Simeon, that there's really that much of a gap between the three of those quarterbacks? Not really. But today, at least we saw what he's capable of. Do I think we're going to see this for the rest of the year? Probably not. But these are the glimpses of hope that I think we all wanted to see earlier in the year. And you just have to ask yourself, why did it take this long? Why has it taken 12, 13 weeks for this kid to just relax, to just sling it, to throw the ball around, to take some of those chances? And even in the first half, this was a 0-0 game. It's crazy by, how the game ended and what the score was at the end. But this was a 0-0 game at the half. And it looked like a lot of the same shit that we had been seeing. Run, pass early on, very conservative, a lot of checkdowns, but he was making some throws in between there. I think he started the game 8 of 9, finished the end of the first half a little bit down, but then they made their adjustments. They came out in the second half, and he was just making some big time throws, letting it rip, getting his tight end involved, looking downfield, but knowing when to check it down. Just really some great throws, and really the only mistake was the fumble. So you give him a lot of credit for being able to bounce back, to keep his head in it. Maybe the 2 weeks on the bench and having a chance to watch actually did do him a benefit. But at the end of the day, and this is where things turn slightly negative, and I apologize, but at the end of the day, this is still a team now that's 5-8, and you can't help but wonder what this season could have been if they figured something out earlier. Because now you're seeing, if you're able to score 30 points in one half, you can't tell me that the coordinator couldn't do it, that these pieces aren't enough. Texans are a good team, good defense, and the weather was bad, and you put up 30 points in one half. So it's hard for me to accept that, oh, well, this group couldn't have got it done with how well the defense was playing. Again, we weren't asking them to put up 30 points a game. Had they been able to put up 20 a game, that would have been enough to have the Jets legitimately in the playoff hunt right now. Instead, we're probably, maybe, if we're lucky, at the bottom of the graphic for in the hunt at 5-8. So that's where this all sucks. And then, of course, the larger picture question that I'm sure we're going to hear all week, what do you do next year now with Zach Wilson? Do you bring him back? Do you bring him back as the backup? Do you bring him back as the third quarterback? Do you look to trade him while his value's high? Like, all those conversations are going to come back now. And honestly, and this probably sounds negative coming off a win, I want to believe this is him turning a corner and really being able to find it. But where do you keep him exactly? Because I still think you need somebody more proven as your backup, just based on the way this year has played out. One game is not enough to really change my opinion. So I still think you need a proven backup. And then do you want to take up a roster spot keeping Zach as your third quarterback? Whereas this year, you had 2 quarterbacks on the active roster, 1 on the practice squad. So if you think you can keep him on the practice squad, maybe, is that too tempting for Joe Douglas and Saleh and this group, where if there's a need, they would want to elevate him and play him? I don't really know. But just based on the way the season's gone, it's almost felt like it's just best if everybody gets a change of scenery, an opportunity for a new start and a fresh start. I've been rooting for this kid. I've been hoping he can show progress. It's a shame that it's taken until December 10th for us to actually see it on the field, where the offense can put up points. And, listen, ultimately, if they're able to do it next week against Miami, then I think maybe you start saying, all right, maybe he legitimately turned a corner and he's playing free. But again, is that also a product of the pressure being off? These games don't have as much meaning now. You're 5-8. Your season's practically over. So that's what makes it so complicated going into the offseason. Do you keep Zach? If you're going to keep him, in what capacity? And does your opinion really change, from the guy that was benched 2 weeks ago? Does this one game, is that enough to do it? Do you need to see it back-to-back weeks? Do you need to see it, 2, 3, 4 more times to close out the year before you really believe that he's actually turned that page. And again, if he has turned that page, in what capacity are you going to keep him next year? Those are the conversations that I'm absolutely not ready to deal with all week. So hopefully we can all just enjoy this win, enjoy seeing points on the board, 30 points in one half, enjoy seeing our quarterback make some plays, producing 3 touchdowns. So hopefully they can keep this up, at least be competitive next week against Miami, and give us something to talk about maybe with a Rodgers comeback on the horizon. So enjoy the win. Talk to you guys later.